Yeah. It's the daily, daily go get mism show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. We asking, what if you would listen to your parents tonight? What if you had listened to your parents? What do y'all know about mulling over the decisions that you've made in your life and thinking to yourself, what if I had listened to my parents when I was younger about the career path that I took, the relationships that I had, the decisions that I made in the streets? What if I what if I listened to my parents? Now the thing is, there's two sides to this thing. There's an A side and there's a B side. Because we don't all come from parents that were good. We don't all come from parents that were responsible. We don't all come from parents who knew what they were doing or had good sense. So if you come from parents that didn't have really good sense, then you actually have to be the one that breaks away and that has maybe been under the influence of somebody else that was a little bit more positive or had better ideas or was a little bit more responsible. So it can be a crapshoot. But many of us have grown up with parents that had knowledge and wisdom and understanding. And so if we didn't listen to them, we probably made the wrong decisions, peer pressure fueled in decisions, young and dumb, full of cum type of decisions, and all kinds of decisions that may not have been in our best interest. But you know how it is. When you're young, you're feeling some kind of way, you're learning things the way that you're learning them, and so you are experiencing life the way that you are experiencing life. So we're going to talk about that tonight. What if you had listened to your parents? How different would things have turned out for you if you had listened to your parents and maybe followed the path that they had laid out for you, or followed the instructions that they may have given you? Because many of us rebelled against our parents, especially when our parents didn't go with the agenda that we may have had for ourselves, or they didn't fuel the curiosity that we may have had for certain things that we were encountering as we were growing up, especially when we were teenagers. And for a lot of people, teenage the teenage period in our lives was when we may have made catastrophic decisions. You know, there are a lot of people that I've met in my life that went to jail when they were teenagers and they wound up being there for 10, 20, 30 years. Imagine imagine committing a violent crime when you're about 15 or 16 years old and being tried as an adult and actually pretty much growing up in a prison cell or in a prison system, institutionalized, coming home after 20 or 30 years. I don't know what kind of cities that y'all come from, but in a city like mine, things are going to be so different when you come home, even if you've only left for a few years, a couple of years. Things are going to be different. So that's what we're talking about tonight on the Daily Go Getimism Show. What if you had listened to your parents? How different how different might have things been if you had listened to your parents? Did you listen to them? We weren't all hard heads. Not all of us. Some of us were actually those who took who paid homage and respect and actually saw the wisdom that our parents had, so we didn't make the catastrophic mistakes that a lot of people may have made during that time. But what if you had listened to your parents? What if you had listened to your parents? Things might have been a whole lot different from you. So we're going to get into that tonight on this Pretty Petty Tuesday Here it is, the Daily Go Getimism Show. I'm your host, Sun752, and we are getting into a little something. Asking, what if you had listened to your parents? How different might have things gone for you? Now let's think about some of the things that our parents tell us when we grow up. And this is regardless of whether you were raised in a two-parent family, an extended family, raised by your grandparents, or raised in a single parent situation. You know, I really started to name this show What If You Had Listened to Your Mom or Dad. But I said, guess what? Everybody has parents, even if the parents aren't together. So I decided to go with the parent thing. But what if you would listen to them? Even if you didn't grow up in a two-parent family, you may have still had two parents, and you may have weighed what one parent said versus what the other parent may have said. Many people come from a situation where one parent is a little bit more responsible than the other parent is. One parent may have more money than the other parent does. There isn't always balance in our situations, and we just have to kind of roll with the punches because we don't decide how we're going to grow up. We don't even decide if we're going to grow up. But when we grow up, when you think about some of the things that your parents may have told you to do, for example, if you were the timid type and you were picked on or bullied a lot, your parents may have told you how to handle a situation where you were picked on or bullied a lot. Now, this situation can get a little dicey because I know some parents, particularly, and this is not a diss or necessarily a knock, but it's a situation that does exist, and we can look at it in whatever way we want to look at it. But I've known single parent families, like women were the head of the household, and I've known. Okay, so if you were getting bullied or picked on as a young person, they may have told you to fight back, or tell a teacher, or or a grown up or an adult or whatever. They may have told you, don't get violent with somebody else just because they get violent with you. Some parents may have told their children that. And I've known parents, particularly women, that would go up to the school if that's where the bullying happened and actually try to fight the kids. I've seen it happen. Some mothers get very passionate over their children and they ain't having it. They ain't trying to see, they little boys or they little girls getting bullied by anybody. Sometimes when it comes to a situation like bullying or whatever, sometimes it can be it can be a trigger for certain things that may have happened to you when you were younger for some people. So let's get into this. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on a second, y'all. Make sure that something is working the way that it's supposed to. For the time being. Okay. All right, we good. Okay. All right. So your parents may have told you how to handle a bully. Your parents may have told you what to do in a certain situation where somebody was picking on you, or somebody was, trying to be violent with you, or somebody was really trying to, get at you in a certain type of way. But did you listen to that? If your parents told you to hit back, fight back, or, stand up for yourself, did you listen? Did it finally kick in? Could you only perform when you felt like you had backup? So if maybe you were the type that only listened to your parents when your parents were right there. Or were you the type that regurgitated or repeated every wisdom or little tidbit of wisdom that your parents taught you? Sometimes Sometimes, I mean, I knew plenty of kids that were that way. You know, like if you really admired your parents, or if you thought they were Superman or really, really great, you may have said, "Well, my mom told me this, or my dad told me that, and I know that this is right because they wouldn't lie to me," and blah 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 blah. Sometimes it's like that with certain kids talking about certain parents, so they may repeat everything that their parents told them. You know what I mean? And if that's the case, that means that you were listening to your parents. But does it really mean that you were listening to them? Because sometimes it's hard to weigh what your parents have told you against what your friends are telling you, what your peer groups are telling you, what your fellow students are telling you, classmates and things like that. It's not always easy to stand your ground in the face of other people that are telling you that something will work, or it's the real time of events that are going on. What's going on, Zarcine? Zarcine says pink or stink. And what up, Stacy White? Thanks for coming through tonight. I appreciate you. All right. He says good night. Good night with my mom. Got a little late, and I was the one with a male period of Sky Zone, and I'm a little late to the park. Okay, that's what's up. Good night with my mom. A little late. I was the one with a male period and sky a period of Sky Zone. Oh, and I'm a little late to the park. Okay, that's what's up. And what's going on? Manifest reality. Manifest reality. What's going on? Thanks for coming on through. Appreciate you. And Lakia, thanks for coming through. That's what's up. Bucky Mart, thanks for coming through, y'all. And I'm feeling like a real man should, Lakia. I appreciate you asking. And wise old Chinaman says, you remind me of Anne Frank got greedy with the breadsticks. Anne Frank. I mean, really. Anne Frank. I mean, is it possible that you don't think I know who Anne Frank is? Like, maybe you think I don't know the story. Anyway, so, yeah. What if you had listened to your parents? What are some of the lessons that your parents tried to teach you, that you may have listened to, may have been hard-headed against at times? Maybe when all was said and done, you thought about it like, damn, maybe she was right. I remember a situation when I was 16. When I was 16, I remember me and my big brother got scammed by some scam artist downtown. We were roaming around downtown. I don't know if we were going to the arcade, trying to go to a club that night, a party or something like that. But we were downtown, and this guy with I don't know, either to us at the time, maybe a Jamaican accent, maybe an African accent. At that time, we didn't really know that much of a difference. But, he was telling us he had flashed this big knot of money. Come to find out later on that he only had a big bill on top. In the middle of it was probably like newspaper that they cut up to make it look like it's money in the middle. They never really show you the big wad of money. They just flash it. And it's supposed to attract the person that thinks they're either going to rob somebody for money or that they're going to get some money. Anyway, when all was said and done, he got my brother's Walkman and about $35 from somewhere between $35 and $55 from both of us. Not, equaling 110 total. That was how much he got. And so when he scammed us, we called the cops. I think somehow we wound up down the precinct and pointing this flim flam guy out or whatever. The pictures that I saw didn't look like any none of the pictures that I saw looked like the guy. My brother said that he picked the guy out of the lineup. I don't know. Anyway, when my mom came to get me, she was like, you know, you hard headed. You would have still had your money because all I lost was money. My brother lost a couple of dollars in his Walkman. And you know, Walkman was a big thing. We talk about this was like 1987, the beginning of 1987, some shit like that. And she was like they got you with the oldest trick in the book. And I'm thinking like, this ain't no oldest trick in the book. This was a new scam. Because I'm thinking I'm a streetwise kid. Like, I know what time it is out there. Well, if I was a streetwise kid and I knew what time it was out there, I wouldn't have got flammed by one of the oldest scams in the book. She was right. It was one of the oldest scams in the book. I didn't know that because I didn't know anything about scamming. I didn't know anything about deception. I didn't know about theft by deception, because that's what it's called when you flam somebody. So I'm thinking, like, if I had listened to her, I wouldn't have given the dude the time of day. I wouldn't have, because she always told me, like, listen, when you downtown, you know, people are going to try to get you for your money. They're going to try to rob you. They're going to try to, you know, get something from you. So watch who you talk to, and watch who you spend time with, and watch who you hang around with. She always told me that. Watch who you hang around with. Sometimes I listened, sometimes I didn't. It seemed like every time I didn't listen, I got bit in the ass for it. I didn't get an ass whooping for it, but I got a whoop. I got my ass kicked by the situation. All right, let's go. Let's go. Stacy White says, I use my mother's wisdom. That's what's up. Bucky Martin says 6. I don't know. Lakia says, I don't need no friends. I hear that. I don't need no friends. All right, Manifest Reality says, but I did listen to many things my children and boys are doing. Boys are doing good. One is a doctor and the other one is a pharmacist. Okay, that's hot. That's dope. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Ruby Vishwa 99 says, hi, sir. Good morning. Well, okay, good morning to you. And Dark, what's that? Dark Angel Soaps says, my son ghosted me today in front of his friends. It happens. But does he listen to what you have to say? And did you listen to what your parents had to say? Manifest Reality says, it was not easy at all, especially with their big father being strangers. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't sound like it's an easy thing. Not at all. Not at all. But what if you would listen to your parents? You know, sometimes when people listen to their parents, they make certain decisions. And like I was talking before, a lot of y'all came on. I was saying that not everybody. All right, listen, Kitty wants to get into the show today. Hey, thanks for coming by. Not everybody comes from good parents. Not everybody comes from responsible parents. Not everybody comes from parents that make good decisions, or that have that good judgment, or that are decent. Not everybody. So what if you listen to them? What if you listen to, like, your parents tell you, yo, get whatever you can from anybody that you meet? What if you had listened to them? And so good people you have preyed upon all your life, and then, you know, so you never had a chance to have good people in your life. It can happen. So we're talking about, what if you had listened to your parents? What would have happened? What direction would your life have gone in if you had listened to your parents? Would you have gone to the schools that you went to? Would you have gone to school at all? Because contrary to popular belief, not all parents make their kids go to school. And I don't mean college. I don't mean a university. I don't mean a institution of higher learning. I mean middle school and high school. not all parents make their kids go to school. I don't know who y'all know, but I know some people who I know. And yeah, not all parents that I've ever met of people that I've known have made their kids go to school. So if your parents did encourage you to go to school, did they encourage you to go? Did they encourage you to finish high school? Not all parents. I've heard parents say, "Well, my parents didn't graduate high school. I didn't graduate high school, and you don't need a high school diploma to make it out here. You can do well." I've heard parents say that shit. I think that's very irresponsible and could foster another wave or a cycle of a generational curse. But hey, it happens. It happens. So, you know, did you listen to your parents when they told you to go to school? Or did you cut school a lot? Did you hooky? You know, I mean, many of us did it. Some of us messed around with drugs in high school, alcohol in high school. Some of us were too busy chasing behind our boyfriend or girlfriend in high school. That kind of shit. Getting pregnant or getting somebody pregnant in high school. Selling drugs, getting kicked out of high school, being violent, getting put out of high school, expelled from high school. Were we listening to our parents when things like that happened? What if you had? What if you had listened to them? So y'all understand where I'm going with this? Do you understand where we're going? Manifest Reality says, "Hey, kitty." Their fathers was big slangers. Oh, okay. I understand. Ruby says, "Cat is so cute, sir." Where'd she go? Hey, yo, feline. Oh, he ran away. Dark Angel Soul says, "I think he's just embarrassed of me." Oh, wow. Oh, because he ghosted you? Okay. My man Waste Time Like Water says, "I listened to my parents and I should have." Okay, cool. Dano. Dano Seasoning says, "Sign the contract, big boy." I don't know what you're talking about. Look, he says, "I didn't listen to my mother and I paid a price of true heartbreak." We probably should talk about that a little. Dark Angel Soul says, "I listened to my folks and my son is well on his way to being a good man." I like hearing that. That's what's up. I hear you. Fumbling around. Okay, there you go. Well, she seems to be engaged in something. I don't know what's going on. All right. All right. Let's go. You know what I gotta do? Even though I own a cat, and even though I'm an animal lover, I'm allergic to all animal pet dander or whatever. So anytime I touch my animal, I gotta wash it. You know what I mean? Because I'll be in here, eyes watering, and you know what I'm saying. I'll be getting my nose will start to itching and shit like that. I what is she doing over there? All right, all right. Waste Time Like Water says, "I went to one school when I should have went to another school that my parent thought was better." How about that? Matt Q says, "What do you think of the Arsenal Football Club?" I don't know what that is. Maybe you should tell me about it a little bit. Manifest Reality says, "Their father directed me to do right while they was outside." Okay. And Aussie mate, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. Look here, says, "I would be more happy with myself." All right. Ruby says, "I'm very happy meeting all of you. Bye bye. Meet you again later." That's what's up. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for coming through. All right. Okay. Okay. Damn, Manifest Reality says my mother did not care about me. I do not like hearing that. She also says, however, I was okay. I loved her. Okay, I'm sorry. You said, however, it was okay. I loved her. Okay. Brian Green says, your mother probably had a mother who didn't care about her. Just make sure you don't repeat it with your daughter. Not sure who you're talking to. Manifest Reality says, I engage in many community services. That's what's up. Kiwi says, fucking liar. Okay, cool. You think somebody is lying? Maybe me? Okay, I'm all right with that. Matt says, very depressing stream. Okay. I guess you won't be here long. And Brittany Cade says, gooning or edging. I don't know what that means. And Lara says, much love. What's this about? We're talking about, what if you had listened to your parents? I don't know how old you are, but as you become an adult, sometimes you may think about the things that your parents may have instructed you to do, encouraged you to do, told you to do. And, you think about whether you did those things, whether things worked out well. If you followed your parents' advice or instructions, were they right? If you rebelled against them, did you make the right decision? Did everything turn out all right in the end? But in the middle, because your life has a beginning and it has an end, but the middle is the biggest part. And we can speculate about a whole lot of things in the middle. But our parents are our first teachers. They are our first guiders. They are our first people who are an example for how things are going to be in our lives. Even though when we're younger, we can't see that shit. Have your parents ever told you not to buy something that you wanted really bad, like a car? Maybe your parents told you, don't buy a new car as your first car. And maybe because you were working, you were making a little bit of money, and you felt like you could afford it, and you decided, instead of buying a used car, I'll buy a brand new car. So, how your insurance is high as hell when you're under 25 years old. Car insurance is high as hell when you're under 25 years old. So you may have been 18, 19, 20 years old, and you bought a brand new car. And maybe it wasn't the best decision that you made at that time. Maybe you weren't even a good driver yet. So maybe your parents might have told you, no, get a little car that costs a little bit of money. It'll be like a test car for you. Or maybe drive the car that I used to drive. I'm getting a new car. You can have my old car, or I'll buy you a little car that you can have. And maybe you said, no, I have my own money. I want a nice car. I want to be able to pick up girls. I want to cruise through the hood and with my system bumping. I want rims on my shit. I want my shit tinted. Your parents will often tell you what to buy and what not to buy. Do we always listen? No. What happens when we don't listen? A lot of times we wind up fucking our money up. Simple as that. We wind up fucking our money up. Very rarely will you hear a parent tell you to go ahead and spend the money and just take the chance or roll the dice. Very rarely. I'm not saying that it never happens, but I'm saying it's more rare. By the way, I didn't dress y'all. I'm looking at the screen. I'm thinking, wait a minute, they look a little underdressed. Is it the warm weather? Here, let me put your necklace on. You know what I mean? I ain't saying y'all gotta look like me, but let's make sure that we get the right kind of energy in here. And then put the struggle beads on. Yeah, now we can understand each other. We can relate to each other a little bit more. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Daily Go Getimism Show. I'm your host, Sun752. That's Sun752, aka Omar with the R. And if you can't say Omar with the R, well, then you just say Omar with the R. So we are talking about what would have happened if you listened to your parents. What if you had listened to your parents? What would you have made the relationship choices that you've made in your life? You know, the people that you've brought around your parents, you know your parents have scrutinized them. You know if they have told you whether they thought that that was a good person or not. You know sometimes they've been able to see things in your romantic choices that you've made that you can't see because you may have been starry-eyed, all drunk in love, or so optimistic. It happens all the time. They tell you about your friends too. Oh no, man. They'll tell you. I'm telling you, your friends ain't about shit. I used to have friends like yours, or I knew people like your friends, and they're only out for self. They're not going to be there for you. They're showing you all the wrong things to do, and they're going to abandon you when things get hot. And you saying, no, 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 my friend's cool. I'm telling you, they cool. They good people. You know what I'm saying? That's my man. This is my people. That's my girl. That's blah, 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 blah. And what happens? A lot of times your parents are right. A lot of times they were right. You wind up getting pregnant. If you're a girl, you wind up getting pregnant by a dude that your parents told you. You're going to wind up you're out there, doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing, having sex when you shouldn't be having sex. You're not listening. You're sneaking around and blah, blah, blah. You think nobody knows. And you didn't listen to that shit. Wind up getting pregnant. 16, 17, 18, 19, anytime between 20, if you get pregnant, you're probably not prepared for it. It happens and people work it out, but that's not exactly what they were going for. And I'm sure that your parents didn't encourage that shit. But did you listen? Probably not. What if you had listened? Probably would have turned out better. Probably. Who knows? Who knows? But that's what we're talking about tonight. You may have chose a different woman. You may have chosen a different man. You may have chosen different friends. Or you may have kept some people at arm's length. You may have scrutinized a little better. You may have been a little bit more patient. You never know. Sure, you can't go back and change it now. But these are things that sometimes people think about. I know these are things that I think about. Sometimes you have parents who have a total vision for your personality. After all, they know you. They know you. A lot of times we think our parents don't really know us because we're not paying attention to what they're paying attention to. Sometimes we think we're flying under the radar of their vision. Sometimes your parents will tell you what career path that you should take, or at least what you should try in the meantime until you get yourself together. Do we always listen to that? Maybe your parent could see where your natural talent was, and they would try and tell you, like, maybe you should try this, or maybe you should try that. You know you're really good at this. Why don't you do this? You could make a couple of dollars. You could still go to school. You could turn this into something. And maybe you didn't listen. Let's say you were a musician, but you rebelled against your parents because they made you become a musician. Maybe they made you take piano lessons, horns, strings. Maybe you like to play, but you really only played because they made you play. You wanted to actually go out and play. So while your friends were going out and playing, you were home practicing because your parents said so. You didn't want to listen. As soon as you got a little older and you didn't have to listen, you stopped listening. It's like, no, I don't care how good I am at this guitar. I'm not playing it anymore. But maybe had you listened to them, like, yeah, I could have been in a band. I could have gotten signed by a label. I could have toured the world. I could have seen things and had access to things. Maybe I could have made millions of dollars and sold millions of records. You just never know. But maybe you didn't want to listen to that. Maybe you thought it was. Sometimes we concentrate on like the professional athletes who have made a successful living out of their athletic ability. But You know, and I know everybody didn't listen and everybody didn't make it. So sometimes your parents might have told you, listen, concentrate on your sport or your trade instead of running around here trying to be in love and start a family early. Some people didn't listen to that shit. So you could have been a great basketball player, great baseball player, great football player. But you were too busy laying up with your girl, wondering about what she was doing, sniffing behind her, making sure nobody else was messing around with her, fucked around and got her pregnant. And now look, instead of being at football camp, basketball camp, or spring training in baseball or farm system, instead of doing that, you out making a child. And maybe making a child in the interest of keeping this girl. Like if she has my baby, then, you know, then she won't go nowhere. I won't have to worry about no other man messing around with her. How'd that turn out, dude? How'd that turn out? Maybe your father was telling you, like, listen, that's not it. That girl will be going in the wind with your baby. She'll be in a car with another dude. And another man will be feeding your child Enfamil, Similac, Gerber, whatever. Buying your kids Fisher Price. A baby don't keep no woman, just like a baby don't keep no man. You know? But what if you had listened to your parents? You probably could have been, you know, you probably could have made a career out of your sport because you were that good. Maybe you were already getting recruited and all of that. I've known cats that went to college, got full ride scholarship, full ride football, basketball scholarship and shit like that. Fucked it up. Got a chick pregnant at home, dropped out. Like, are you crazy? Like, yo, you would have been eligible for the draft next year. Yeah, well, this is more important, you know. My baby is on the way, and you know, I can become a football player, basketball player anytime. But you know, I'm a man right now, so I have to do the right thing. But what if you had listened to your parents? What if you had listened to them? What up, life after death? Let me see here. I know I'm not reading all of your comments, man, and I probably won't get to read all of them, but I want to thank y'all for commenting in the first place. Brittany Cade, Lara said, agree now. I should have listened. Okay, respecting my parents. Okay, he says I think about that when I remember why I got my uncle locked up. Okay. All right. Oh, you talking about the car, Lara, when you say and keep it till you pay it off? Manifest Reality says no. My grand loves think I'm their sister. They play with me. Oh, okay. She says they love on me so much. Okay. All right. Lara says trust your parents. They have years of experience. Yeah, we don't always see that when we're younger. Mash says, no, I don't regret anything. I mostly follow their words, whatever they told me to do. Really? Okay. Interesting. Mark 2024 says, I will subscribe. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Mucho. All right. Larry says, I need to get through to my kids about bad friends. Yeah. I mean, shoot, some bad friends can really, really mess you up if they have a really strong influence on you. 35, yo, with young boys. Frank White says, bad company corrupts good morals. It sure can. It sure can. Especially if you didn't have a strong moral compass in the first place. Manifest Reality says, I should leave the USA like Tina. Like Tina Turner? You gonna get a new accent too? Okay, Larry says, give them structure practice, study, and you can have this time for what you want. Okay. Within reason. Okay. All right. Okay. Frank says, what's the solution? Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure that I got some of your comments. Um, my people with the I think that's I think that's either Russian writing or Kazakhstan. Anyway, I can't read it, but appreciate you coming through. Art of my heart, thanks for coming through. I appreciate you. And what's that? Griffix says, "Wow, is that AI? You almost can't tell. Is what AI? No, I'm as real as they come. Look, my skin stretches. No. All right. Balboni Jr. says, I feel like you need to be the kingpin back in the day. Trap for Trump. No, thank you. No, thank you. Okay. So, what if you had listened to your parents? What if you had listened to them? Would you be working where you work? Would you have had children when you had children? Would you have fallen in love or stayed with who you fell in love with? What if you had listened to your parents? And like I said, not all parents give good advice, especially when it comes to romantic situations. I've known parents that have known that their daughters, for example, were in abusive situations. And I've known some mothers and some fathers to say, well, listen, that's your husband or that's the man you chose and you got to stick in there with him. So, if he's sorry for what he did or if he still takes care of you and your children or provides for you financially, try to look the other way. Like, yeah, Dad, I would look the other way, but I got a black eye, so I can only look one way. But yeah, not all parents tell you to escape from danger or dangerous situations or dangerous people. Not all parents. It would be nice if it always went that way, but it doesn't. So what if you would listen to your parents and stayed in an abusive situation instead of getting away from that? What if you would listen to them? Like I said, not all parents give good advice. Some give terrible advice. Some are very irresponsible in their teachings. Very. Oh God, Cyber King Kingo Dollar. So still talking from yesterday. Oh, you back today? Oh. So you hated it so much yesterday that you came back today? Well. You might as well go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, my dude. You might as well. It ain't gonna hurt you. You might as well. Join the crew. Be down with us too. Lakia says, my dad wanted me and my sister to have a relationship just for us to fist fight. Ugh, we grown. Well, a lot of times your parents will tell you to try to, work it out with your siblings. I honestly, I agree with that. But sometimes it's just not possible for that period in your life. I've known siblings that used to fight like cats and dogs when they were younger and they got closer when they got older. I've known some siblings to bite their siblings' backs out and just really act like an enemy to their siblings. And sometimes it gets better. Not all the time, but sometimes it does. MF says, do you date men with no teeth? I don't date men at all. I don't even like the way men look. Shit, I barely like the way I look. Speaking of the way I look, I saw this video. Today. And this dude was bald. And you know what he did? He shaped up and faded the back of his hair. So you know how I have male pattern baldness. So I can't get like a hairline. But he like faded this part going back. And it actually looked pretty good. And I'm thinking like, get the fuck out of here. It was like a game changer. Has anybody seen a video like that? It was like instead of you fading the back of your head or the back of your head having the bald fade, I mean, yeah, it was like the front of your head was the bald fade part and the back was dark. So instead of letting the hair grow like, you know, like the George Jefferson look, he taped it. It was like faded, like it was crazy. That was pretty cool though. It's pretty cool. Look here, it says, no, he wanted us to fight. Oh nah. Nah. You know some parents that have encouraged their kids to fight. You remember the rapper Big Pun? Remember the rapper Big Pun? He used to make his kids fight each other, the boys and the girls. The boys and the girls. And he would not let them hold back. So he would encourage the boys to hit the girls as hard as they could and the girls to hit back as hard as they could. I don't know what his vision was of them being able to protect themselves or what that was about, but that's kind of crazy to me. But, you know, if you knew the story of Big Pun, he was very abusive towards his wife. And guess what? His son, who was named after him, Christopher Rios, grew up to be violent towards his mother. Go figure. Go figure. Lakia says, yeah, I remember that. It said, yeah, that was crazy. I like Big Pun, but I can't get into no crazy shit like that. I can't get into no crazy shit like that. But, you know, but like I said, not all parents teach their children to be responsible because not all parents are responsible. But what if you would listen to them? What if you would listen to your parents, you know, teach you how to be violent and reckless and irresponsible and some parents teach their children to steal. It's true. Some parents teach their children to lie and steal and cheat. What if you would listen to them? What if you hadn't had coaches and teachers and influencers and old heads and other family members and decent people around you to counteract some of the negative things that your parents were teaching you what to do, teaching you how to do? What if you didn't have it? Okay, it says, that's why I love my mother. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What if you had listened to your parents? What if you had listened to your parents? Would you live where you live if you had listened to your parents? Maybe your parents encouraged you to go away, expand your horizons, travel, meet other people, set up shop somewhere, make a better life for yourself. Or maybe you decided to stay where you were for whatever reason. Maybe you got married, were in love, had children, didn't want to uproot them, whatever. But what if you had listened to your parents when they told you to, you know, that there were opportunities somewhere else out there in the world? What if you had listened to them? Would things be different? I mean, we can never say exactly how things would have turned out because that's all speculation. All we really have is what we did do, how we did listen, or if we did listen or not. That's what we have. But we can always speculate, kick ideas around, and sometimes we really feel like if I would have listened to such and such, then I would have had this. Or if I would have listened to such and such, I wouldn't have had nothing. Like maybe your parents told you to either keep going or they told you to quit. Like, yo, that is not for you. That is not for you. You're wasting your time doing that. Maybe they told you that, and maybe you believed what they were saying, so you stopped doing something that you were good at, or something that was lucrative, something that was beneficial to you. Or maybe you kept doing something that they told you not to do, and you wound up falling on your face. What if you would listen? You know, there may be times that you made certain decisions based on what your parents told you or didn't or told you not to do. And maybe sometimes we realize like, yo, that wasn't a good look. I could have made a much better decision. And I honestly, wholeheartedly believe that things would have worked out better had I listened to my mom, had I listened to my dad, had I listened to both of them. Sometimes it's like that. Ayan's cricket journey says, what's good? Philly, hi. That's what's up. Thanks for coming through. Philly says, hi, daddy. Just wanted to see your socks. I love it. Just wanted to see your socks. What the hell? Can you see my socks? And Muir underscore 09. I don't even know what those I guess those are supposed to be bananas. I don't know. Can you see my socks? Wait, can you see my socks? Can you see my socks? Maybe you weren't even talking to me. Hit the like button, y'all. Please. Please. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Daily Go Getimism Show. I'm your host, Sun752. I'm feeling like a real man should, and I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should also. Tonight on the Daily Go Getimism Show, we are talking about what if you had listened to your parents? What if you had listened to your parents? What if you had listened to your parents? Would you be good? Would you have stood in the face of danger, made another decision? Would you be in a better position? Would you have gone farther in life instead of living the life that's strife? Would you have stayed with the girl that you was with, or that man? Did you do what you can or do what you could? Did you stand where you stood? Was it all good? If you listen to your parents back in the day, would you be the same way you are today? Maybe so, maybe not. All you got is what you have or not. Well, you got a chance to listen now if they are still around. I know some of y'all have lost y'all peeps, and I want to say R.I.P. Rest in heaven. That's we and us. Yo, we trust the things that they taught to us. And sometimes we listen, sometimes we really didn't, because we really thought that we had the best ideas. We didn't. But, yo, life goes on, so we got to make sure we get the next one. All right. Pink and yellow socks. I mean, they have some blue in them. They got some blue in them. Look, you pull out. See, I got some blue in them. Got some blue. So it's supposed to be like some tiger stripes. So I figured since I had pink, but this is like, I tried, man. I tried. Not a cop says must be white. I don't know. Who's white? Not a cop says more bass, please. More bass what? More bass what? That's it. All right. Noah James 98 says, yo, what up with you? Thanks for coming on through. Please hit the like button, y'all. Y'all only got one job. You only got one job. Please. 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 Hit the like button still, please, so I can stop my triangle. Wait. I try another angle. I get the triangle out. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what this about. Yo, please hit the like button. Just hit the like button. Yo, hit the like button. Hit the hit the like button. So the only show that has a triangle that's always ready to go. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Please. hit the like button. It starts saying something. All right. So, 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 so. All right, let's go. What if you had listened to your parents? What if? What if you had listened to your mom, listen to your dad? Listen to your mom, listen to your dad, what you have had, the good times that you had, or what they have been very bad. All right. What if you would listen to your parents? Yeah. Like the parents who didn't encourage their kids to go to school. Would you have gone? Would you have gotten your GED? Some people have gotten locked up behind their parents, their parents' decisions and shit like that. Because the reality of the situation is some parents have sold drugs. So if you follow their example, now I would love to be able to say that no drug dealer would encourage their kids to sell drugs. I would love to say that. And guess what? I can't say that. Can't say it. But let's take that away for a second. Forget about being Tony Soprano or something like that. We don't have to talk about being the mob boss, crime family, or anything like that. But what if you decided to start selling drugs and your parents kept telling you, like, yo, that's not going to work out for you. There's only one way to go, and that's the graveyard or jail. Death or jail. Those are the only two choices that you'll make selling drugs. Maybe some of you have sold drugs. Sold a little weed back in the day. Sell a little weed now. Sold a little coke back in the day. It's hard to sell a little bit of coke. Unless you're the one who's sniffing all the coke or smoking all the coke. It's hard to sell a little bit of coke. You either all in or you all out. Pretty much. But what if your parents tried to shield you and save you from that kind of life? But maybe you were so money hungry and so intrigued by the street life that you were doing it anyway. And many people have fallen victim to the streets just because of that. The lure of the streets. The lure of the streets had you out there taking chances on your freedom, taking chances on your health, taking chances on your life. But what if you had listened? What if you had listened to your parents? Would things have turned out better for you? Do you know? Do you know? I knew many people who sold drugs growing up. And some of them, many of them had parents that told them, like, listen, you got to stop doing this shit. I've known people who got kicked out of their house, like out of their parents' house, because their parents didn't want drugs sold in the house. And they kept trying to tell them, like, listen, I'm going to love you because you're my child. I'll love you for always. But you can't do this shit. You can't do this shit in my house. I'm not going to lose my house behind you, and I'm not going to allow you to bring danger to my house. And there are other children that live here, your brothers and sisters and things like that, and I don't want to put them in harm's way or have you making them think that the way that you're living is the best way to be. So, But what if you would listen to your parents? What if you gotten hurt? What if you got hurt selling drugs? Would you have? Do you think that would have happened to you if you would listen to them and stop fucking around, stop selling drugs, got a job, did something decent with your life? If you had the hustler's energy and that mentality, you could have done something else. You can do a legal hustle just as hard and as lucrative as you can do an illegal hustle. Luke B says, can't even spell on a smartphone. I don't know. What are we talking about? What are we talking about, Luke? I'm trying to figure out what things went left. Okay. Kiwi is just mad. Mad. Okay. Okay. pure black woman, 152 PDS. I don't know what that means. But yeah. What if you would listen to your parents? Do you think that your life would have turned out the way that it turned out? And are you satisfied with the results? Because some people are. Some people are more than satisfied with the results. Some are. Huh? Some people listened to their parents, some people didn't, and they're satisfied with however it went. You know, I mean, there is a strong argument that things turned out the way that they were supposed to turn out, and there's no way that you could have made them go in a different direction. I get it. I 100% totally get it. But if you had parents that gave you a lot of individual attention and really paid attention to you and maybe always gave you a plan based on what they saw as your strengths and showed you ways how to combat things that are your weaknesses, maybe things could have been a little bit different. Maybe things could have been a little bit different. Maybe things could have been a little bit different. Maybe things could have been a little bit different if you listen to your parents. Listen to your parents. Maybe things could have been a little bit different if you listen to your parents. Listen to your parents. Maybe things could have been a little bit different if you listen to your parents. Listen to your parents. Things could have been a little different if you listen to your parents. Listen to your parents. Maybe things could have been a little bit different if you listen to your parents. Listen to your parents. Maybe things could have been a little bit different if you listen to your parents. Listen to your parents. Listen. Maybe things could have been a little bit different. Maybe things could have been a little bit different. Maybe things could have been a little bit different for the good and the bad. Listen to your dad or your mom. Yo, I know that I'm the one who's in control of my destiny. Maybe higher power, but I take a shower. And when I think about my life, I know that I could have did something different for myself, but I still made sure I maintained my health, and I'm still here, and I'm going for wealth, and I know that one day things will work out, and they working out right now. But when I work out and then I go to another level of thought, I things that I've done, I know I ought to be thankful for the opportunities that I've had, but still miss my dad when he passed away July 11th, 2021. He said, "Hey, yo, son, you make good decisions, and I'm glad that you do. Now, one thing you always know that I love you." But we pay homage to the ancestors, baby. Pay homage to the ancestors, baby, before they leave this world. Before they leave this world. Before they, well, okay. We're about to do these birthday shout outs and get on up out of here. About to do these birthday shout outs and get on up out of here. Dylan Pickles, what's going on? My parents were drug addicts, so yeah. Well, we were talking about earlier in the show how not all parents made good decisions or told you to do the right things. But I would think and I would hope that even if your parents are or were drug addicts, I would hope that they would encourage you to do something differently. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I would hope that they would encourage you to go, to take a different path. Because one thing I know for sure, there isn't a drug addict alive that's glad that they are drug addicts. Not one. When you think about their path to becoming addicted, they're not proud of that. And I can't see them wanting their children to do the same thing. Yo, man, I mean, you know how it is, Dylan Pickles. You come through this show before, and I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate your input. But, I mean, Listen, we all have come from different paths and different walks of life, but the parents that we had are the only ones that we had. We can't choose our parents. Our parents didn't even choose us. Things happen, they happen, and we happen. But we all have the opportunity to show our children different and to try to be responsible and try to encourage them to do the best things possible. But we have to be in the right state of mind in order to do that. Damn. Rupert Winslow says, my parents were caring and loving. They both died, then both died. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that. My condolences, really. Ryan Z says, I was going to say my parents were a bad influence. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh, shit. Viola J says, what do you think of the Jews? Let's not talk about that right now. Let's not talk about that right now. YouTube doesn't like when you go into that. Rupert Winslow says, you can choose how you raise your own. That's true. Madman in my vision says, but we can choose what necklaces we can wear, right? A little money, little money pack, shorty. Oh, you weren't here when I put the necklace on y'all, man. It's not just me. I wear mine. I put yours on yours, on you. What you talking about? Johnny Blaze says, no Jews, just vampires, garlic neck. Okay. Works for me. Works for me. Stuart MC, obey your parents in the Lord. Okay. And Tina says, okay, they took the message away. All right, let's do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious last day of April 30th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box. My peoples, Princess Nikki, happy birthday to you, turning 40 years old today. And also Janessa Johnson, turning 34 years old today. And Miraculous Credit Morris, turning 47 years old today. And Patricia Hunter, turning 70 years old today. And Trisha Shields, happy birthday to you. And Inky J. Neen, happy birthday to you. And my girl, Victoria Patrell Staples, happy birthday to you. And last but not least, hailing from Indianapolis, Indiana, and residing, last I heard, in New York City, turning 48 years old today, my girl, Janelle Relaford. I'm going to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all a good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious April 30th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, listen, what if you had listened to your parents? Which path in life would you have taken? Where do you think you would have ended up? Would you have been in a better position, a worse position, neutral? Did things go the way that you thought that they would go? Did things go the way your parents predicted that they would go? You know, we have the choice as we're growing up to listen to our parents, take their guidance and their tutelage, or rebel against them and do none of the things that they say, maybe just because they told us to do it. You know, we all go through our stages in life where we feel like we have to learn things in our own way, and we don't always want teaching. We don't always want guidance. We don't always want a lecture. We don't always want to feel like somebody is pulling our puppet strings, even though they may not be doing that. Maybe they're just trying to help out, but we don't always listen. Would you listen again if you had a chance to, or would you not listen the way that you listened before if you had a chance to do it all over again? We'll never know. But one thing we do know, whether we listen to our parents or not, will probably have an effect on how we teach our children and the things that we tell them. Will they be listening? Will they? Will they? Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night, 1 a.m. with another Daily Go Get It Business show. So I want to thank y'all for coming through, and I appreciate you. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I want y'all to have a great night. No exceptions. No exceptions. Just one more thing. Please hit the like button. Please share the show. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Push the notification bell so you know each time we come on. And please have a great night. Real great. And a better morning. And a fantastic, terrific, sensational day. What happened to peace? Peace. Good night, y'all.